Hey, y'all, sup? Thanks for joining us for Making Sales Social Live, coming to you from the Social Sales Link Virtual Studios and brought to you by AskSSL.ai. I'm Bob Woods. I'm joined by Stan Robinson Jr. and Bryn Tillman. How y'all doing today?
Awesome. How are you?
Real good, thanks.
Cool. We are here. We are on board. We are on deck, and we're going to be stepping here pretty quick here. You'll see why I'm saying that in just a second. So, how would you like to become a content producer on social media,
Me.
especially LinkedIn, so that you're providing great content that your audience of prospects finds genuinely valuable, and then generate sales conversations from that content? So that's what we're here to do today. We are going to bring you 10 steps in a strategy so that you can create impactful content in under 20 minutes a week. So these are going to help you both time wise and ideas wise, I guess, or something like that, you could say as well, right, guys?
Absolutely. And we're going to give you the prompts to back them up.
Yeah, AI. What is AI prompts? What
Yes.
are those exactly? I'm
I don't
trying to
know, Stan.
remember.
What are
Well,
AI prompts?
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be getting into that in some
Yeah.
detail. Um, but one thing about saving time with creating content is one of the biggest barriers to sales professionals when it comes to becoming thought leaders and positioning themselves as a resource is they don't have time. Who's got time to write content?
Mm, that's
So that's
true.
what we're here to help with.
And
Hey,
I'm just going to throw in before we get started. That is so spot on. They don't have time, and then when they go to AI and they say, "Write me a blog post on this topic," it doesn't sound like them. So then they end up with no content.
Yeah.
right. Or they end up getting frustrated and, eventually no content because they look at it and they go, this just ain't right. This just ain't right. And then they abandon it because they've got other things to do because they're busy salespeople. So,
Yeah.
my yeah. So by using this process that we're going to be going through, we'll give you that time back so that you can do content and do everything else that you need to do as well.
Love it.
So, step number one is to identify a trending topic that your audience cares about and you have insights on that would bring them real value about the trending topic. Now, the one thing you have to make sure of is that the trending topic is something that they want to read about and not something that you want to talk about. Because I guarantee you, those two things, if you looked at a Venn diagram, those would be two independent circles that
Yeah.
probably will never cross.
Touch.
That's awesome. No, we wanted to cross, so let's make it cross.
Yes. Yeah. Let's make it cross.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's think about how do we do this? Well, of course, we could go to AI and ask, but for this exercise, I'm going to leave AI out of it, and I'm going to say do some of your own little bit of research. Go follow your clients, connect and follow them on all their social media platforms. And what content are they publishing or sharing or engaging with? That's how we can start to identify what matters to them. Another way is between surveys and polls, you can start to identify what really has impact. And the last way I'll say is go look at all of the influencers that are in your industry and take a look at what are the topics that they're talking about at conferences? What are the podcast topics that they're talking about? And the blogs and the publishing that they're getting an enormous amount of engagement on. It's a great way to start to identify what matters to them and then bridge it to, as Bob said, the insights you can provide.
Exactly. So with that, I'm actually gonna, excuse me, combine steps number 2 and 3 because they really do go hand in hand. So at this point, you know what you want to talk about, you know the value that you're going to bring to the subject that they want to or need to hear about. So with that, what you're going to do is you're going to sit down or stand up, depending on what you want to do, and record up to a 10-minute video on Zoom, or use your smartphone, depending on what you have access to, and talk about that a little bit more, or a lot more, because you got 10 minutes. So it could be really a stream of consciousness going on there. And then you're going to grab the Zoom transcript if you're on Zoom, or you're going to save and download the video file that you did to the smartphone, and then upload that to a transcription service like Otter AI. This is going to be important for step 4, but steps 2 and 3 are really about capturing your genius, which is something that we have talked about in slightly different ways in previous podcasts and what we talk about all the time. But this is more definitely about you just, kind of doing what I'm doing. If you're with us live, and you can actually see the video of us, is just sitting down and just talking about the topic, anything and everything that comes to mind, and then definitely getting it in that transcript form.
Yeah, and by the way, chances are you're using like we use Sybil.ai,
Note takers.
Note takers. Oh my gosh, I love the English language, but every once in a while it eludes me. The note takers. Yeah. So often now we've got a note taker in almost every single meeting. So you don't even necessarily have to constantly think about all the topics that you want to talk about, when you can leverage the conversations you're having with clients now. Yep. They're going to give you transcripts right away. So sometimes you're on a call with a client and you say something brilliant. It's now transcribed. It's in those note takers. So, that's something that makes all of this so easy. You don't even have to think about all the topics all the time now that we're capturing almost every single conversation we're having. So consider using that as well. And I do want to say, I said I wasn't going to use AI for this, but I do want to quickly say, if you want to hone in on a topic and you've done a lot of research and you've got some ideas, you can certainly use the ideas and the that you've collected and put it into AI or a prompt to really bring it down. So I just want to share a quick crispy prompt that we have inside of Ask SSL, which is our AI tool. So I want to identify compelling, relevant, and strategic content topics that align with my expertise and resonate with my ideal audience. I have some ideas, but I'd like you to turn these topics into trust-based conversations and demonstrate insights, not just information, for content. You are a strategist and an audience researcher. Your job is to surface high-impact topics that position me as a thought leader, attract to the right people, and lead to deeper engagement without sounding promotional. Draw on the questions my clients are already asking, trends they're paying attention to, objections they commonly raise, and the outcomes they care about most. Consider using my frameworks and prior insights to help form this content. Scope, deliver, in this case, 10 topics, ideas with short descriptions. Each topic should be relevant to my audience and current challenges or goals, be something I can speak to with credibility and real examples, open the door to more conversations or discovery calls, align with trust-based social selling, LinkedIn strategy, or AI for sales and marketing. Now, if you're doing Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest, throw that into scope, right? Avoid generic surface level topics and have been covered endlessly. Don't include trends that I have not spoken to in my answers. Do not include anything salesy or product led unless it leads with value and insight. And then ask me all the questions you need to complete this prompt in my voice and with my perspective, one at a time. Now that's a lot, but when you, I'm sure this transcript is available once this is over, and you can grab that. But the bottom line is, you do this research, take that research and let AI hone it down tightly to give you really those topics.
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent. Very good stuff. So let's go on to step number 4 now, which is taking that transcript from Zoom, from Otter, whatever you want to do. Copy the transcript and paste it into Ask SSL, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you want to do. But then you're going to want to put in a prompt before you paste it. And I've got like a really simple one that I'm just going to say we can.
You want me to give the crispy one afterwards, or?
Yeah, sure. So, so you're gonna paste in the prompt first before copying the transcript in. So it's a little bit reverse, but it makes sense. And once you do it, you go, oh yeah, that's why they're doing that. So with that, the very simple prompt is, please take this transcript and write an easy to follow 500-word blog post and add appropriate hashtags. That's the simple one. Now, we do have a crispy prompt that Bryn is going to share as well. I personally like the crispy prompt much better, but this one that I just read will get you at least started down that road.
Yeah, and you know what? It is simple. The key is you're using your transcript, right? And so the crispy prompt is, I want to transform this video transcript, could be audio too, into a clean, easy to read blog post that captures the key ideas in a structured conversational format. The goal is to make the content skimmable, valuable, and engaging to my audience. You are a skilled blog editor and content writer who specializes in repurposing spoken word content into reader-friendly articles that sound natural and insightful. Use the transcript from my session. Use the tone. I have from my sessions, interviews, videos, but it's one, right? Use this transcript. The tone should reflect my voice, professional, thoughtful, and easy to understand. Style should be clear, structured, and free of filler. Scope: write a 500 or 1,000 word blog post based on the transcript. Keep the message focused and skimmable using subheadings or paragraph breaks for clarity. Add a few relevant hashtags to increase visibility when shared on LinkedIn or other platforms. Do not research beyond this transcript. Do not use M dashes, jargon, or overused introduction phrases. Avoid robotic formatting, and do not add a call to action unless I give you one. Now, before pasting the transcript, use that message that Bob talked about, right? So you're gonna paste this prompt, and then the question in you is, ask me all the questions you need to complete this in my voice with my perspective, one at a time. So now, right, so Bob's short prompt is now really detailed. You can also, in many cases, when we are using the crispy prompt, we'll say, you can interview me. However, you've already done the interview with the transcript. So now it's just, are there any additional questions you need to create that task?
Yeah, that's great. And the nice thing about the way that we do our crispy prompts is that they're designed to be very specific up front, so that the first time it gives you whatever output that you're looking for, it should do it in a way that's really close to you and your voice and things like that. It's called one-shot prompting. We try to do that, but even with one-shot prompting, sometimes it misses something. So that's why I always say, treat an Ask SSL or a ChatGPT session as a conversation as well. So if it doesn't give you something specifically, just go back and say, hey, you missed something, or hey, can we expand on this point a little bit more? And then ask it to rewrite at that point as well.
So can I yes and that?
You can yes and that.
I named my AI. So it's Ask SSL, but I actually now call it Bubba. And so when I go in, I'm having a conversation with Bubba. And I'll say, hey, Bubba, you use M dashes. I told you not to use M dashes. And now Bubba will say, I'm sorry, Bryn, thanks for reminding me. But what happens when you've named it, whatever you've named it, you do start having that natural conversation with it. Right. And so Bob really hounded in my brain to treat it like an unpaid or an intern, like a smart intern that doesn't know your stuff. But it still felt very much like a platform. But once I named it, it turned into a conversation, and I pretend I'm texting a person on the other side.
That's excellent. That is truly excellent. And I'm glad that someone's actually listening to me out there as well. That's always good. So yeah, I love that idea.
You wouldn't have Crispy if I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, tell me about it. So let's go to step 5 now. This one's probably the easiest that we have out of all of our steps. And that's simply to take the blog and publish it in a LinkedIn article. You can also do Substack if you'd like to as well. If you have a blog on a company within a company website, you can do that as well. Just make sure it gets out there, and also make sure that you're optimizing the article for SEO, search engine optimization, and you're also including some kind of clear call to action at the end so that they'll reach out and contact you to book an appointment, or if there's an ebook associated with what you've written, or a video that they can view for more information, or whatever. Make sure that they have a step to take beyond just reading the article, because otherwise it's just a magazine article, and most magazine articles don't have call to actions, and you definitely want them to take some kind of action based on what you have written. And quite frankly, the work that you put into this, you should get rewarded, especially if they're interested in talking to you based on what you've written.
Okay, so now I have a grammar question that maybe Stan can answer. Is it call to actions or calls to action, or call to actions?
Yeah, just call to action. Both
No,
singular?
No, plural would be calls to action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But most people just talk about a call to action. I don't
Right. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Sorry. My
yeah, no worries.
No worries. Me and the squirrels.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like attorney general and attorneys general, rather than what everybody wants to say, attorney general.
And mothers-in-law.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like that type of thing. Yep.
Cool beans.
Yep. So everyone has learned something about grammar today as well. So that's good. So with that, something, at this point, you might think you're done, but we promised you 10 steps. We've only gone through 5. That's because there's a lot more that you could do with that content that can power even more potential sales conversations for you, because you are going to be doing more with it than just a blog post. So step 6 is actually publishing a LinkedIn poll related to the topic of your of the video that you have recorded for your own purposes, and the blog post that you've distilled from that video. This could be a question related to a point that you made in the video or the blog post, or a broader question related to the industry or topic. Just make sure that the poll is engaging and encourages interaction from your LinkedIn connections. And guess what? We have a prompt for that as well. Right, Bryn?
We do. And I'm going to stick with the quick prompt rather than, because the poll, we have a quick prompt. You don't have to go through the entire Crispy framework for this to work well. So create a LinkedIn poll that's positioned as, and we have randomly include one of the following statements: a top priority, or their number one concern, or most important why. Because a LinkedIn poll, you have to be able to click one, right? So we'll frustrate people that want to click 2 or all of the above. So I love to start with top priority or number one concern. And it on topic in 140 and the topic you can either paste a link to the blog post or to the transcript. I personally would now go with the blog post that's now cleaned up. So in 140 characters, including spaces. So that's the title. Sorry, so paste the topic and then title it in 140 characters, including spaces. Then offer 3 potential answers, each 40 characters or less, and include answer number 4 that states other. Oh, it should be 30 characters or less.
Yeah.
30 characters or less. And then other sharing comments is the 4th one. That's because we don't want to frustrate our people. We want them to be able to have an answer that we don't have there, and then we will encourage comments. Then include LinkedIn text for the post that will attract and engage connections. It's simple, and we do have wonderful prompts that will get into more detail, but a simple prompt like that can make all the difference in the world. The 2 major components are the title should be 140 characters or less, and each of the answers needs to be 30 characters or less in order for that poll to work using that transcript.
Yep. Sounds good.
Awesome.
So now we've got one potential piece of content spun out of everything that we've done so far. I'm actually going to combine steps 7, 8, and 9 into just kind of like one block, especially because we're kind of running up against it with time. This has to do with generating quotes out of the original video that you took. So with the same transcript, and this, you're actually going to need to go to the transcript and not the blog post that you've developed. So that original transcript that you have, ask your favorite LLM, whether it's ChatGPT or hopefully it's Ask SSL or something like that, essentially, to highlight 4 key quotes and make them short, attention-grabbing phrases that could stand alone as individual pieces of content in 250 characters or less, including spaces. So that's kind of the nugget of the prompt that you will use to distill that transcript into those 4 key quotes. Then you're going to go to Canva or another graphic design tool, whatever you're comfortable with.
We love Canva.
I'm sorry?
We love Canva.
We love Canva. Absolutely. Canva rocks. So, you develop that graphic design featuring the quote, and then you can add relevant images or graphics. You should probably brand it at least with your logo, if absolutely nothing else, because you want to make the quotes more visually appealing. And then, because you're generating 4 at once, we definitely recommend not to publish all 4 at the same time. There are many reasons for that. One of the big ones is the LinkedIn algorithm. If you're going to be doing it to LinkedIn, if you do all 4 at once, it'll do really funky things and just drive down the potential eyeballs that will be viewed on it. So if you do 4, 1 a day is fine. But LinkedIn has its schedule later tool within each post to schedule your content for the entire week. Or if you want, you can go 1 a week for the next 4 weeks, or however you want to do that, essentially. But you can batch things, get it all done at once, and then LinkedIn handles the publishing for you at that point.
Bonus, come to one of our Be Our Guest to coachings, and we will create a Canva template in your with your brand, so you can use it over and over again. So go to socialsalesLink.com/events. That's
events with an S.
socialsalesLink.com/events, and we have 1 a month. So so come on in. So will you be providing a transcript of this conversation or document with the 10 steps? Yeah. So we have a transcript with every podcast as it's released. If you are connected to any of the 3 of us, I will make sure. Who wants to publish this with a link back? I'm gonna give this assignment to Bob. Okay, so you on Substack, I'll get you the transcript. You post the transcript and link it back to this video, and you can reach out to, is it George or Jorge? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But or George, maybe. I love that. And we will make sure that that you get that transcript, that you get this transcript. What do you think? Is that good, Bob?
Yeah, that works for me.
Cool.
And then number 10 is it's really simple, and yet it just requires you to do everything all over again because it's rinse and repeat. So in other words, this is a process that you could do, for every week if you want to do like 4 graphics a week, or every month. Just depends on how often you want to do this, but by using all these steps and using them effectively, you can publish great quality content in about 20 minutes or less, which is just absolutely fantastic because you're using AI to help you out with the generation. You are taking your ideas because it's from the videos that you will be recording for each of these topics. And with the topics, it's great because you're going to be addressing the topics that your audience wants to hear about to do whatever it is that they need to do successfully within their businesses.
So that's awesome. And I know we kind of have this bonus, and I think the bonus is pretty important, which really comes down to take the video and grab some pieces from it. Like you can have little video vignettes if you feel comfortable. So I'm just going to share, and I'm going to have everyone go check it out starting middle of the week. We have someone that we're working with, Mike Middleman, who I interviewed on topics. He's like a one-shot wonder. I was like, okay, it's the first time we're doing this. It's going to be an hour. And he just knows his stuff so amazingly well. And we were able to just take those little snippets. So it went from just having him go rant to the interview. I'm out of the interview. You don't see me. But you can do this. You can have someone go in and interview you, and then you have very specific vignettes that make it really simple to chop up into like 30 to 60 second clips. So we use BigView to do that. You go to socialsaleslink.com/BIGVU for making clips, but like CapCut, and there's a bunch of them out there that can help to slice and dice.
Very good. Excellent stuff. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up and just say, whether you've been with us live or recorded via our podcast, we really, really appreciate you for joining this episode of Making Sales Social Live, sponsored by AskSSL.ai. We do our live sessions here weekly, so join us. We'd love to have you. If you're listening to us on our podcast and you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button to access all of our previous shows and be alerted when new ones drop. And we like likes and comments as well. Love those as well. So besides these LinkedIn Lives, we also interview leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and many more areas. So catch those episodes as well. Socialsaleslink.com/podcast is where you're going to want to go for more information on all of our podcasts. So when you are out and about this week and every week, be sure that you're making your sales